Hello, welcome to a new video update, I guess. So, for those who didn't know, I haven't updated in like 4 to 5 months. I just got married and moved out with my husband. We are currently just kind of like putting things together and trying to work on projects and working full-time all at once. So it's been very busy. But do not fear, I have some good news. And that is I have a new update on the game, or just, development-wise. Nothing physical yet, but I'm hoping to start working on some 3D assets very soon because I worked on some of the character ref sheets, which I guess I'll just be putting in this video. And then, so let's get started on some of the game routes because that's what you guys asked for. It was a poll that I did about a few months ago. It was 6 months ago. So we're gonna work on game routes and endings. Okay, so I guess let's talk about how the routes will work. The routes are gonna be a lot more narrow, as in once you choose a route to follow, say you chose to, choose the pacifist route and you befriend all the rivals, you have to stick with that route. There isn't a lot of like flip-flop. It's just like you stick with it and you go with it kind of thing. And then in between all of that, you have Easter egg endings, which most of the time you can achieve it during any type of route and wherever or whenever you want to, explore and do things. So you can find those and then you'll get like little achievements for it and it'll be awesome, it'll be great. And I'm gonna try and sprinkle up as much as I can all over the game because I like that stuff. I think it's fun, it's cute. And just to be clear, it won't affect any of your gameplay. It's like a small little cutscene it might be long, I don't know. But you'll be able to achieve those and it'll be swag. So each route will have 2 separate endings. You have a good and a bad ending, which I feel like is kind of like a given for most games, just because like everyone wants both, so it's a good balance. And I felt like it's appropriate to have a good and a bad ending with this. So anyways, bad endings are pretty obvious. You screw up trying to achieve something and you don't. You get the bad ending. And then there are good endings where you succeed on doing what you're supposed to do, and you end up getting with the love interest, which is Ren, for those who don't know. Although I think I should mention with the murder route, it'll be like you can get separate bad endings, if that makes sense. So depending on who you decide to kill and you screw up killing them somehow, or you screw up, hiding evidence or whatever, you will get very specifically adjusted bad endings. In fact, I think I would like to go as far to say as besides the kidnap route and the bully route, the befriend route also does have adjusted and very similar bad endings, in which it depends on which rival you screw up trying to befriend, the bad ending will be adjusted to that specific rival, if that makes sense. So basically, more specifically speaking, when you decide to go through the murder route and you screw up killing somebody, the cutscenes will go similarly to how almost a news report, but with Kiku being the narrator, who's, by the way, the main protagonist. She'll explain the events that occurred and how the screw up happened, and then you'll get to kind of see a little glimpse of people's reactions to whatever happened. And then also Kiku being trialed for her murders, but her parents bailing her out because she's a wealthy son of a biscuit. But, essentially you can't go back to that academy anymore. You can't go back to college, so you get the bad ending and you can't be with Ren, and that sucks. And basically your life is over. And then you have to restart. So that's how the bad endings will kind of go. And again, it will be tailored to each specific rival, so there will be different reactions depending on who you kill. And then sort of similarly with the befriend route, whenever you screw up befriending a specific rival, they'll basically ignore all of your attempts to try and like distract them from being with Ren, and they'll get with him anyways. And the aftermath is what you'll be seeing. So you'll be seeing like a little cutscene of them being all together and cutesy, and then you'll be like, ah! So those are those two main routes. And then let's get into, I think the bully route would be good for next. So with the bully route, if you screw up like manipulating, or not manipulating, but bullying and harassing a specific rival, what will happen is you'll get caught by authority. This is the only way you get the bad ending, and it's not tailored to each rival. So if you screw up, you get the bad ending, and it's like the same thing throughout that entire route. And it's basically just being told that you're expelled and you being bummed out and never seeing Ren again, basically. Or you get the idea, you get the gist. So with the kidnapping route, there will be a bad end, but I don't want to spoil anything because I have some really good ideas, and I do need to still sort everything out, but I'll just let you guys theorize what the bad ending is going to be for that. And then with the good endings, I feel like the good endings are pretty self-explanatory. That'll just be you ending up with Ren, the love interest, regardless, of like awful things you've done. I can't say it'll be a happy ending, but I will say it'll be a good ending for you. So there's that. Okay, so then there are lots of cutscenes, and the cutscenes will be used as like plot devices in the game. So say you're being introduced to a new rival, what will happen is you'll be introduced to them through seeing how they interact with Ren, or being able to see how they interacted for the first time through like maybe like somebody else's point of view, and then you're reimagining it, and that'll be a whole cutscene on its own. And then obviously the endings are going to be cutscenes, the beginning's got a cutscene, and the Easter egg endings will have cutscenes as well. So there'll be a lot of mixed cutscenes sprinkled everywhere, but again, plot devices, so I don't think it'll be a lot, but I hope they'll be enjoyable nonetheless. But anyway, so I think that's actually all I wanted to really talk about without revealing too much. And I'm sorry if it's like kind of basic and not revealing a lot, but I think if this ends up going well, I really want it to kind of be secret. I want it to be like when you guys play the demo, whenever I start working on that, you guys will go in blind and find it exciting, I hope, or enjoyable. So anyways, I'm gonna just stop here and leave you guys for a bit until I have another update on what I'm working on next, which hopefully will be 3D stuff. I'm actually worked on, like I mentioned previously at the beginning of the video, I have ref sheets that I've been working on of the characters, so hopefully I'll have like started working on 3D models of them, or at least, like just something physical that you guys can actually see that's not just concept art. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me and the patience. I know it's been very inconvenient with all these like life plans I've had, but thank you again for following my journey, and I hope this ends up being, really cool for you guys. So thanks again. Have a lovely day, y'all. You're amazing. Bye.